So warm welcome to our release session together with Christian Werner and René Recker regarding our brand new IGEL OS 12.4.0 version of our base OS. The stable release is planned for the 25th of April, a few days before our Disrupt event in Miami, but I'm guessing that you will share some great news that will be shared in that session today. Christian, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks a lot, and always a pleasure to be here. And I guess we can start, can we?
Here we go.
Okay, perfect. Then yeah, hello and good day all. So again, thanks so much for being part of the community, and I'm more than happy to provide some details about our very next IGEL OS 12 stable release, which is the 12.4.0, as you mentioned, targeted for April 25th, where we are offering a good mix of relevant updates, re-implemented features or known features from OS 11, and also new possibilities, new use cases we are covering with that piece of software. Also worth to mention in regards of IGEL OS that we have since start of 2024 a reduced shorter cadence for published releases. So this is 6 weeks now for OS 12 base system, but also for OS 11 firmwares, which is still in maintenance until end of 2025. And that way we are able to constantly offering security updates and important fixes. But now let us dive into the 12.4.0 and the main changes here. Very relevant update in this stable release is the new kernel. We are now offering kernel 6.6 LTS, which offers or provides support for the new Intel Meteor Lake-based devices and provides also support for the first Wi-Fi 7 chipsets. Officially supported devices with corresponding chipsets will be offered with our next rolling releases. So we are offering the base implementation to use these chipsets with the 12.4.0 and the new kernel. And of course, also security updates and smaller improvements, bug fixes are offered with that release as well. So these topics are covered with every published IGEL OS release, so also with rolling releases, but of course also with the stable release here. You see we are not only offering support for older devices and chipsets, but also for the very current ones, and take care, of course, in close cooperation with our software security team to address and fix all possible security issues. We've covered general hardware support and security, and now let's talk about the new features for OS 12. You're all using digital signage in your daily life, so screens where self-service applications are running or information is shown. This is usually browser-based, so offered via Power BI or similar solutions. So quite simple, but often not managed in a proper way. And with our auto logging feature, SSO can be pre-configured in combination with start of browser and the corresponding URL for offering the desired browser-based solution without any necessary user interaction. So very easy and possible to update and manage via UMS then.
That's a really cool feature, Chris, and just jumping in because a couple of people in the IGEL community were asking for that feature for a long time ago. So basically, if you're using recording software, a survey software, which is causing alarms, and you have video cameras in your factory, and most of these devices are not managed by someone with a keyboard or a mouse, but just combined with the display and just showing some pictures. Usually you had to shadow the device, enter your password, and then having your survey software running. In that case, you don't need any interaction anymore. You can just pre-populate your username and password and go directly into the web page without any additional steps in between anymore. And the second use case which comes to my mind is people who are using web pages to show something on the screen. Web pages other than survey, but also menus for restaurants and so on. So all the digital signage ecosystem that you're using maybe can be replaced now by this new solution because it works absolutely fluently into the application itself.
Exactly. So you have a lot of possibilities to use that feature, and a lot of functions and solutions are browser-based nowadays. With that, you are able to handle that in a very easy and convenient way. So yeah, the next one, so known from OS 11, is also the automatic network switch. This offers an automatic enablement of Wi-Fi or Ethernet. So of course, Ethernet has the highest priority, means if cable is plugged, Wi-Fi will be disabled, and if LTE is not available, Wi-Fi will be used in an automatic way, if configured, of course. Also a
That's
new
also
feature. Yeah, please.
Odin, there's a small hint from my side because we're using scripts for this for a long, long time. And I know this feature was already introduced on OS 11 already a long time ago, but if you're still using scripts to switch from Wi-Fi to LAN or from LAN to Wi-Fi, etc., please don't use them anymore and use the built-in automatic switch from network system that we introduced a couple of years ago, I would say 1.5 years, because it can cause a lot of trouble if you use both systems at the same time. So just in case, look at your firmware customization base or find a network part of your profiles and check if something of the script is still running, and just remove it and use the built-in scenario. It works way better.
Exactly, and as you mentioned, so it's hard to interact. So when you are using the script and the feature, it's quite obvious that something will go wrong. So thanks for the hint, and then let's continue with some new stuff. So new is the guest user handling on OS 12. So multi-user on one specific device can be offered now. Means the main user logs in with SSO, so with the single sign-on credentials, to access all relevant and configured applications. Then logs out, and then the guest user comes. He does not need any password, but has also just limited access to applications, which can be, of course, enabled and configured via UMS. And the guest user does not see any cached data from any other or former user. The classic use case here is a blue collar worker who just needs occasional access to IT services for time tracking, check status of power lines and stuff like that.
Or if you're working in a shared office, right? Because if I'm going to Augsburg or to Bremen and I don't have my laptop with me for whatever reason, I can just use a device from someone, make my Microsoft Office 365 connection open in the Chromium browser, do my stuff, just log off, and I will never interact with your Citrix or whatever session you're using. So that's really a cool use case for this guest user. And I know a lot of users were asking for this, especially for the shared workplace scenario.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, we widened the flexibility of using IGEL OS with that new approach, and this and also the auto login for browser feature was already offered with the 12.3.2, and so of course also part of the 12.4.0 and all upcoming versions of IGEL OS 12 base system. Also added is the user login history, so ported from OS 11 and offered for OS 12 as well now. With that, the admin sees who logged in when on system and application level, the upcoming app updates for IGEL AVD, so Citrix Workspace app, etc. will support this feature as well. But please check our app updates in these regards to be on the current level and to see when the feature is supported also on the app level.
And again, I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry for this, Christian, but
That's
just
fine,
in
man.
case you're not knowing how to configure it, there are a couple of videos and documentation out there on kb.igel.com, but as well as on our videos.igelcommunity.com website, where we're explaining how to use that feature. Because if you think about your first level workers who are trying to understand where John Smith is working at the moment, because he is taking a support call with the support, that's something which helps a lot, because the support can just enter John Smith, so his username, in the search area of the UMS, and can then see on which device the user is actually working. The configuration itself is not activated by default due to some data privacy reasons, but it can be enabled quite easily by using the documentation I mentioned at the beginning. So cool to see it now on OS 11, on OS 12 also.
Definitely cool. And yeah, thanks a lot for the additions here. Then let's continue. So of course we have more stuff to offer. In combination with the UMS, we are now also providing the compatibility for Azure Application Gateway and the F5 Big IP solution. This is also already possible with the 12.3.2, but of course, it's also necessary to use a current UMS, and this is the 12.04.100 or later, of course. And please check also here our knowledge base for further details and possible configurations in these regards. One of the focus topics of OS 12, so of course, besides of security and hardware support, is usability. As you hopefully know, we are offering more and more new developed and designed tray apps for enabling the IGEL OS user to set user relevant and configs in an easy and convenient way. There are already a lot of these tray apps in place, so for UMS connection status, battery and power saving options, Wi-Fi and Ethernet connections, also for configuring touchpads and set some mouse options. And now with this upcoming release, reworked and better tray for display config on OS 12 will be offered. So a new and more reliable tool for configuration of up to 8 screens, super easy via drag and drop, and of course further options via drop-down menus. Once config is set, we will use the connected screens. We will use the edit data of the connected screens to identify the used layout and configs. So different layouts are saved and restored once corresponding screens are recognized. If you have the exact same edit data of the screens, further identify as the used port. And with that combination, we are making sure that the relevant data is unique for assigning and using the correct config. So the technical rework and also the new design was a huge effort on our side. So definitely one of the things to highlight in this release.
Where's the firework? I'm expecting fireworks over there.
But wait for that. So here you're using the screens for that. And now time for firework.
Now, really great work. I know that the display configuration tool, the display switcher, so-called in OS 11 and OS 12, was a cool tool at the beginning, but never really covered what we are seeing in the field from using docking station, using multiple displays, and saving that setting over an update. And I know there was a lot of frustration out there when after an update, the display configuration was not saved anymore. It needed to be resetted. So huge thanks to all the developers who were involved in that project, because that was one of the biggest pain points that we had in using IGEL OS as an operating system. And I had the chance to play around with the release candidate version of that tool, and it feels way more fluent than it was before. It just looks like integrating the OS and not as a separate application anymore. And that's what the tray app is doing. So really a big shout out to all of you. It helps a lot.
So definitely, so the display switcher was, from the technical point of view, not too bad, but the usability was also not too good. And as you mentioned, the reliability was also not so good. So therefore, we decided to do a complete rework of that stuff. And of course, we adjusted the design. As mentioned, usability is a huge topic for us. And therefore, we have a new technical implementation combined with a new design. But that's not it. So we have also an audio tray app, also new and reworked. It looks like that. So of course you can configure input and output audio devices in an easy way. Volume level can be configured on device, but also on application level, and also over amplification can be configured, but this needs to be allowed via the UMS, of course.
That helps a lot if you're using progressive web app applications locally, like Teams. And if you want to have different levels for different applications for different session, in working locally, that's something that helps a lot. If you're not allowed to do that in the session itself, or if you're not using unified communication optimization, but really working locally. And cool, looks really good.
Yeah. Definitely, thanks for that. And also to make the network options complete, also LTE, so WWAN configuration will be offered in a reworked way, and of course via corresponding tray, because this is the way to go. So general goal, just to mention again, is to offer an operating system which is not only the gate to VDI anymore, but an operating system on OS which makes fun to use and offers everything a user needs also for browser-based and local applications. This just reduces also the effort for the admin, as user is able to configure all important settings for using IGEL OS in a daily, easy and flexible way. And also a good thing is that our new tray apps are now also offered in lock screen. So one common handling on desktop and lock screen with the 12.4.0 and all later versions. And in these regards, as short outlook, the 12.4.1 will contain a new tray app for printer handling on OS 12, and this makes printing local, so connected local printers, also network printers, way easier.
So you mean no need to start an IGEL setup anymore, or the configuration dialog, and doing some fun stuff with the end user via shadowing anymore? That's cool.
So exactly, you have everything in one place. It's an easy and convenient way to set up all user relevant things directly on OS level. Okay, and then let's continue. In regards of hardware support, We are using support for further Lenovo devices and used LTE chipset on the HP Pro MT440 G3 model. This were already offered with the 12C2. Unfortunately, nothing new with the 12.4.0, as have not received the planned devices too late. So the Meteor Lake devices, or means the first Intel Meteor Lake-based devices and chipsets, will then be officially supported with the next rolling release 12.4.1 and of course later. But of course, as mentioned, driver-based support is given for these devices. So please try and use the 12.4.0 and feel free to report any issues, if any. Also a relevant part of OS 12 are the apps. So what comes here, what is in the making? So of course, we are offering app updates for a lot of solutions in a regular way. So for all offered browsers and local apps, so all main VDI clients and all unified communication tools for VDI and local usage. And of course, also smart card solutions, because this is quite relevant to be up to date. And of course, also for the IGEL agent for Imprivata, new features will be constantly added, especially for our IGEL clients and solutions via app in a quick way then. New solutions are constantly added as well. So Amazon Workspaces client will be offered in the very next time. Island.io browser is in the making and more browser solutions to expect. More known solutions will be re-established as an app for OS 12, but also new solutions for using the IGEL OS for software as a service will be offered. And of course, it's necessary to stay connected via locally unified communication tools like Teams. So we have the progressive web app for that, the local Zoom client, and also WebEx will be offered as local client also in the quite next time. IGEL agent for Imprivata, of course, is also constantly extended. The next big thing here is the support for fast user switching, and this will be released also in the very next time. And with the IGEL Ready partners, more and more new and great partner solutions are possible and also added in a constant way. So the mentioned ones are quite close to be released. Frame by Dizzion is the one of the very next solutions, and we will offer that in a common way, of course. But also EPOS Connect for remote management of EPOS headsets, DriveLock device control will come, and also the Worksport VDI SaaS platform and more are in the making to provide the best solutions for OS 12 with our partners in a common way. So more to come in a constant way, so please stay tuned and check our regular updates. Yeah, basically that's it. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to mention on the Trisserit side, if you didn't have the chance to watch the meetup, we had the great time together with Andrew and team a couple of months ago, where they showed us the solution and how to install it. So happy to share the link afterwards if you're interested in. Christian, as usual, thank you very much for all the work you did and for the time you took today to show us the latest improvements on the 12.4.0 and 12.3.2. We're looking forward to the next versions, but yeah, let's get the things rolled and let's hope for a great feedback from the IGEL community. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks again. Have a pleasant day and all the best.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.